Now, UK retail sales unexpectedly rose in April, with the quantity of goods bought up 1.4%, partially reversing declines in both February and March. While this sounds like good news, and it is a sign of economic life, the fine print suggests that something else is going on. The retail sales drive was driven partly by much higher food and alcohol sales at supermarkets, as shoppers took the cheap option of getting together at home rather than going out. Spending in restaurants, bars and pubs, incidentally, isn't included in these better retail sales numbers. Sales of washing machines, fridges, furniture and other big-ticket items, meanwhile, slowed, as did spending on DIY, as households tried to save cash. And while clothing sales had a strong month, especially online, with some retailers suggesting that clothes were being bought for post-pandemic holidays and weddings, total clothing sales are still well below where they were in 2019, prior to any lockdown. While retail sales were up in April then, as inflation takes hold and the cost of living squeeze gets tighter, consumer confidence this month, May, has plunged to its lowest level in almost half a century, according to one closely watched measure of economic sentiment. This time last year, May 2021, the GfK Consumer Barometer, measuring the balance of optimistic and pessimistic shoppers, was at -8, a bit gloomy, but nothing too unusual. This month, that measure's plunged to -40. It's the lowest since the GfK index began in the mid-1970s, and lower even than in July 2008, the epicenter of the global financial crisis, when the GfK index hit -39. So consumer confidence on this well-respected measure is now lower than in 2008, a time when global financial markets were in turmoil, sending economic shockwaves around the world. What happens if today's combination of soaring inflation and slow growth causes another financial collapse? Something we'll be discussing later in this episode of On the Money. But for now, our focus is on consumer sentiment, given this lack of confidence both online and on the high street. And that's our On the Money question today. When will rock-bottom consumer sentiment improve?